They pushed me into a pit and walked away like I was nothing. But that's not the worst part. I didn't scream for help. I screamed their names. And they stood there, watching me die. Because they said my voice was too powerful, too sweet, and my beauty made them feel very small. But what they didn't know is, I didn't die down there. Before everything fell apart, there was a night the entire village came together. It was one of those evenings people look forward to, the kind where the air felt lighter, where laughter carried easily, and even old grudges seemed to rest for a while. A fire had been lit at the center of the square. The elders sat in a semicircle, their voices low and measured. Children ran around freely, their laughter sharp and alive. Women gathered in clusters, sharing stories, while the men discussed matters that always seemed important. And there was us, the girls. We sat together just like we always did, or at least it looked like we did. Amara, you've been too quiet these days, one of them said, nudging me silently. I smiled faintly. I'm just tired. That's a lie. Another one added. You are avoiding us. I'm not, I replied quickly. But even to my own ears, it didn't sound convincing. Sade had been silent the whole time. She sat beside me, her posture relaxed, her face unreadable. Then suddenly she spoke. Amara, you should sing tonight. My heart skipped. What? She turned to me fully now, her expression calm, too calm. You heard me, Amara. Please sing. I shook my head almost immediately. No, not today. Why not? One of the others chimed in. You always sing. I glanced around. People were already starting to notice us, waiting. I just don't feel like it, I said quietly. Sade leaned in slightly. Or you don't want us to hear your voice again? That made me look at her. What does that mean? She shrugged, a faint smile playing on her lips. Nothing. Just that you don't sing around us like before. The others exchanged quick glances. Softly, I saw it. That's not true, I said softly. Then prove it, she replied. Silence fell between us. It wasn't loud, but it was heavy. And somehow, I felt cornered. Come on, Amara, one of the girls urged. This is your moment. My moment. The word didn't sit very right with me. But the way they all looked at me, waiting, watching, I swallowed. Then slowly, I stood up. The movement alone drew attention. A few heads turned, then more. By the time I stepped closer to the fire, the entire atmosphere had shifted. Amara wants to sing, oh, someone called out. A ripple of excitement moved through the crowd. I could feel my heartbeat in my chest, loud, unsteady. For a second, I almost walked back, but then I heard it. Let her sing. It came from one of the elders, firm, certain. And just like that, there was no turning back. I closed my eyes, took a breath, and then I sang. The first note came out very soft, almost fragile, but it didn't stay that way. Something about that night, something about the silence pulled more out of me. My voice grew stronger, deeper, fuller. It wrapped around the firelight, carried through the air, settled into every ear that listened. One by one, the whispers stopped, the laughter faded, even the children slowed down. And for the first time, I wasn't just singing, I was being heard, truly heard. When I opened my eyes, everyone was looking at me, not casually, not politely, but fully, completely, as if the only thing that mattered in that moment. I finished slowly, letting the last notes linger. Then silence, deep, heavy, unbroken. For a second, I thought I had done something wrong. Then applause, loud, sudden, overwhelming, wonderful. This girl, her voice is a very good gift. The elders nodded in approval, women smiled proudly, even the men clapped in admiration. And then I heard it. This Amara will not last here for very long ago. The words came from somewhere in the crowd, but they echoed louder than anything else. I felt it in my chest. This village is too small for her. More murmurs followed, agreement, excitement. She is meant for bigger things. My hands trembled slightly. I didn't know whether to smile or disappear, because while everyone was celebrating me, I felt something else. That feeling again. Slowly, I turned and found them, the girls, still seated together, but no longer relaxed, no longer smiling. Their faces were very different now, tighter, colder, and Sade, she was already staring directly at me. No expression, just watching. Then finally she clapped. Slow, measured, once, twice. A faint smile followed, but it didn't reach her eyes. Beautiful, she said. The word sounded right, but the tone didn't sound right. I stepped back towards them, unsure. Thank you, I said quietly. No one responded immediately. The silence between us felt louder than the applaud had been. Then one of the girls spoke. You really enjoyed singing, oh, didn't you? I blinked. What? All the attention. Don't lie, you enjoyed it. My chest tightened. It wasn't like that, but it's always with Another one cut in. I looked at Shade, hoping, expecting something, anything, but she just tilted her head slightly. You didn't even hesitate, she said softly. I did. I almost didn't want to sing, but you still did. Her voice was calm, too calm. And look at you now, she continued. Everyone is talking about you. I didn't know what to say because she wasn't wrong, but she wasn't right either. I didn't ask for all of this. You guys pushed me to sing. Shade smiled. This time it was clear, sharp, dangerous. No, she said, you never do. The fire crackled behind us. Laughter echoed from the distance. But where we stood, everything felt different, heavy, unsettled. And in that moment, something shifted. Not loudly, not dramatically, but permanently. Because that night wasn't just the night I sang. It was the night I became something else in their eyes. Not a friend, not one of them, but a problem. And I didn't know it yet. But problems are meant to be dealt with. After the night, everything felt different. At first, I thought it was just in my head, the way people looked at me, the way their voices softened when they spoke to me. Ah, Amara, that your song yesterday, you gave me goosebumps. No? You are not an ordinary girl. I smiled, I nodded, I said thank you. But inside, something didn't feel right, because while everyone else seemed to be moving closer to me, there were people who were moving away. I didn't need to look for them, I already knew who they were, the girls. By midday, the market was as busy as ever. Voices rising, feet moving, life continuing. I was at the well when it happened. They all came together, laughing, talking, like nothing had changed. For a second, I was even happy. Maybe I was overthinking everything. Maybe things were still very much normal. Amara, one of them said. I turned, smiled silently. Come now, she said, sing for us. The smile faded. What? Sing, another one repeated. You sang very well yesterday, didn't you? That their tone was light, playful. But something underneath it wasn't. I'm really not in the mood, I said. One of them said. So now you have moods. A few people nearby turned slightly, listening. It's not like that, I said quickly. And what is it like? Another one asked. The circle around us slowly tightened, not physically but with attention. Eyes, ears, judgment. Maybe our voice only works at night, someone said. Or when elders are watching, another added. My chest tightened. I just don't want to sing right now, I said. Shade stepped forward and immediately everything went quiet. She didn't raise her voice, she didn't smile. Sing, she said. Just one word, simple, flat, but heavy. I looked at her, searching her face, trying to find the girl I used to know. I can't, I whispered. Of course, she said. She turned to the others. You see? Then turned back to me. It's only when it benefits you. That's when you sing. That's not true. I tried to defend myself, but it is. Her voice didn't rise, but it cut deeper. You like when people look at you. You like when they praise you. And now, you think you are above us. I never said that. You didn't have to. The laughter was gone now. This wasn't a joke anymore. It was something else. Something worse. I'm still the same person, I said softly. Shade stared at me, then laughed. Not loudly, but coldly. No, she said, you are not. She stepped back. Come, she told the others. And just like that, they all walked away, leaving me there, standing alone, with people watching, whispering, judging. And for the first time, I felt it. Not admiration, not curiosity, something else. After that day, things didn't get better. They got worse. The whispers followed me. She has changed now. Shade, she's very proud though. You think she's better than everyone? I heard them everywhere. Even when I tried not to listen, even when I covered my ears with silence, I stopped singing completely. Not at the well, not at home, not even under my breath. But it didn't matter because the damage had already been done. One evening, I made a mistake of passing by them again. They were sitting together, laughing like before, like I wasn't part of it anymore. As I tried to walk past quietly, I heard it, a voice singing my song. I froze, then turned coldly. One of the girls stood up, mocking me, exaggerating every note, every movement. The others burst into laughter. Is that not how she sings? One asked. No, add more feeling, another shouted. More laughter. I felt something break inside me. Stop, I said. My voice was small, weak. They didn't stop. Sing for us now, Amara, someone shouted. The mocking grew louder, crueler, and this time people watched. Some laughed, some looked away, but no one stopped them. Tears burned my eyes, but I refused to cry. Not there, not in front of them. So I turned, and I walked away faster than I ever had, until their laughter faded, until I couldn't hear them anymore. That night, I didn't sleep. I sat in the dark, alone, and for the first time in my life, I wished I didn't have a voice. The next day, they came to me, all of them. I tensed immediately, but their faces were different, soft, careful, almost guilty. Amara, we are very sorry about what happened yesterday. We were just joking. We didn't mean to hurt you. I looked at Shade. She stepped forward slowly. We went too far. Her voice was calm again, familiar. We are still your friends. Please forgive us. They all came together, hugging me. I didn't understand why you guys were acting like that. She sighed. We were jealous, Shade said. The honesty caught me off guard. You know how people were talking about you. It got to us, the others nodded. But we are over it now, one of them said. Let's not fight. But they were still my friend, or at least they used to be. What do you want? I asked softly. Let's go out tomorrow, like before. The bush part, she replied easily. Just us, just to talk now, girls gist. Something inside me hesitated just for a second, but then I nodded. Okay, they smiled, relieved, satisfied. And as they turned to leave, I didn't see it. I didn't hear it clearly. But if I had looked closer, if I had listened better, I would have noticed the way their smiles dropped the moment my back turned, the way Shade eyes hardened. Then one of them whispered, tomorrow, please don't forget. We end this. The next day, I told myself not to overthink it. Friends fight. Friends say things they don't mean. Friends hurt each other sometimes and they fix it. That's what I believe. That's what I held on to when I followed them. The path was quieter than I remembered, narrow, lined with dry leaves that cracked softly beneath our feet. The deeper we went, the more the sounds of the village disappeared. No laughter, no voices, just the wind and our footsteps. I should have noticed it. I should have stopped, but I didn't because I trusted them. Where exactly are we going? I asked. Not far, one of them replied, just a little deeper. The word settled uneasily in my chest. Still, I kept walking until we got there. A clearing, open, quiet, too quiet, and at the center of it there was a pit. Deep, dark, unfamiliar. I stopped walking. What is this place? I asked slowly. No one answered immediately. Instead, they spread out slightly, forming a loose circle around me. My heart skipped. Shade. She stepped forward, and for the first time, I saw it clearly. There was no softness in her face anymore, no friendship, no pretending. Just something cold, something final. You like attention, don't you? She said. My stomach dropped. What are you talking about? She ignored the question. Everywhere you go, people are always looking at you, listening, agreeing. I didn't ask for that, I said, but you enjoy it. I don't. Stop lying. Her voice snapped through the air. I flinched. You think we don't see it? You think we don't notice how people talk about you? Her words came faster now, sharper. As if you are better than us. I never said that. You don't have to. One of the girls shouted from behind. It's obvious. My chest tightened. I'm still the same person. No, Shade said. You stopped being one of us the moment they started choosing you. I didn't choose that, I whispered, but we can choose this. The word didn't make sense, not immediately, and she took a step closer, and the others followed, slowly. Closing in, my breath itched. What are you doing? No answer, just movements. Fear crept up my spine. Shade, my voice shook now. Stop, this isn't funny. She smiled, and that smile, it was the last thing that still looked familiar. But even that was very wrong. Who said we are joking? She said. My heart started racing. Fast, too fast. Wait! A hand shoved me from behind. I stumbled forward. Another push, and then I fell. Stop! What are you doing? My voice echoed into the empty street, but they didn't stop. They surrounded me now completely. No one will be looking at you anymore. No one will hear you sing. Laughter followed. Low, dark. You won't be singing for anyone again. Tears blurred my vision. Please, I look at Shade begging, searching for anything, anything at all. Shade, please. Please, for a second, something flickered in her eyes, but it disappeared just as quickly, replaced by something harder, stronger, colder. Push her, the word came out flat, final. No, ants hit me all at once from behind, from the side. I lost my balance. My foot slipped against the loose earth, and suddenly there was nothing beneath me, just air. I screamed. Loud, raw. Shade, my voice tore through my throat. I'm sorry. I didn't mean anything. Please. But when I looked up, they were all there, standing at the edge, looking down at me, and they were laughing. Not nervous laughter, not unsure laughter, but full, open, cruel. The kind of laughter that doesn't come back from. And as I screamed their names, they didn't move. They didn't even reach out to me. They didn't hesitate. They just stood there and watched and laughed. I hit the ground harder than I expected. Pain shot through my body, sharp, immediate pain. I couldn't breathe for a moment. I couldn't move. Then slowly the silence crept in, thick and heavy, above me. The sky looked very small, distant, like it didn't belong to me anymore. My body trembled, and then I realized something. They were gone. No more footsteps, no more voices, no more laughter, nothing. They had all left. They left me there alone at the bottom of a pit because I was too beautiful, because my voice was too much for them to handle. And as the pain settled into my bones, as the silence wrapped itself around me, one thing echoed louder than everything else. Not the pain, not the fear, but the truth. The people I trusted the most were the one who destroyed me. I didn't know how long I stayed there. Time didn't feel real anymore. The light above me shifted slowly from bright to dull to something colder. My body ached. Every moment sent sharp pain through my limbs. But it wasn't the pain that scared me the most. It was the silence. No voices, no footstep, nothing. They really left me there. A dry laugh escaped my lips, weak, broken. So this is how it ends. This is how I end. Even now, it was still there, my voice. I closed my eyes for a moment. I thought about stopping, about giving, letting the darkness swallow everything. But what was left? No friends, no trust, no family, nothing. But then something strange happened. I heard it from inside me, a melody, soft, familiar. The way it started, quiet and gentle, like it was asking for my permission. I shook my head weakly. No, I can't sing again. This is the voice that brought me here, that led me into a pit. This voice had taken everything from me. God, I can't sing here. I sang. Before I could even stop myself, I began singing. The first note came out cracked, broken, but it didn't disappear. It stayed. Then another and another. Then another and another, stronger this time. My chest tightened. Why? Why couldn't I stop singing? Why was this the only thing I had left? The sound of my own voice wrapped around me. Not mocking, not cruel, just there, steady, real. And for the first time since I fell, I didn't feel completely alone. Somewhere above, a sound, faint, distance. Had I imagined it? Then footsteps, slow, careful, coming closer. My heart jumped. Hello, I called out. My voice echoed upward. No response. Panic crept in. Please, I shouted, I'm here. Then a shadow appeared, blocking the light above. I squinted, trying to see. Who is there? A voice called down. Deep, strong, not familiar. I fell. I said quickly, please, I can't get out. How did you get in there? I was pushed. Longer this time. He didn't ask who. He didn't ask why. I will get you out, he said. Simple, certain. Like it wasn't even a question. I didn't realize I was crying again until my vision blurred. Thank you, I whispered. A rope dropped into the pit, rough, worn, but strong. Can you hold on? He asked. My hands trembled as I reached for it. Pain shot through my hands, but I grabbed it anyway. I will try. Don't try, he said. Hold on. Something about his voice steadied me, slowly and carefully. I wrapped the rope around my hands, then it was lifted. Every inch upward felt like a struggle. My body screamed, don't let go, I won't. And then the ground. I collapsed the moment I was out, breathing hard, shaking, alive. For a while, none of us spoke. Then slowly I looked up and saw him. It wasn't what I was expecting. No royal clothing, no crowd, just a man, simple. But there was something about him, something steady, something grounded. His eyes studied me carefully, not with pity, not with curiosity, but with understanding. You are hurt, he said. I nodded. This time I didn't hesitate. I took it. And as he held me up, I realized something. The same voice that tried to destroy me, the same voice I wish I didn't have, was the reason I was still here. Because if I hadn't sung, he wouldn't have heard me, and I wouldn't still be down here, alone, forgotten. He glanced at me again. That was you, wasn't it? What? The singing? I froze. For a second, fear returned. You have a very rare voice, he said. No envy, no mockery, just truth. I almost lost it. No, you almost lost yourself, he said. And in that moment, something inside me shifted. Not loudly, not dramatically, but firmly. They tried to bury me, they tried to silence me, they tried to make me disappear, but they failed. Because even at the bottom of the pit, my voice still refused to die. The first thing I noticed when I woke up was the ceiling. Not wood, not sky. A clear, smooth surface, white. I blinked slowly. For a moment, I thought I was dead. But then the pain came back, sharp, real, alive. I inhaled deeply. The air smelled different, not damp, not heavy, fresh, safe. You are awake. I turned my head slightly and saw him, the man from the pit. He sat across the room, like he had been there the whole time, watching and waiting. How long? I whispered. 2 days. My eyes widened slightly. 2 days? You were unconscious, he said. Fragments of memory rushed back. The fall, the laughter, the darkness. My chest tightened. They left me there, I said quietly. They didn't even offer anything to me just because I sang. He listened and offered comfort. I pushed myself up slightly. Pain shot through my side. Easy, he said. You are not fully healed. I let out a soft breath. Why did you help me? This question slipped out before I could stop it. He looked at me. Because I heard you. Because I heard of your voice. You don't even know me, I said. I don't need to. His tone wasn't cold. It was certain, like he didn't need explanation to do what was right. I looked away. Where am I? I asked. My house. I looked around again. The room was simple, but not poor. Everything was neat and intentional. Who are you? I asked him slowly. Someone who doesn't ignore what others throw away. My breath caught. That line, it hit deeper than I expected. I looked down at my hand, bruised, scratched, proof of everything I survived. They didn't just throw me away, they wanted me gone. You know? He said, yes, I know, I've seen it before. Something about the way he said it made me realize this man wasn't ordinary, not just in presence, but in experience. Rest, he said, standing up. You will need your strength. For what? I asked. He paused at the door, then looked at me. For what comes next?